Wander Wealthy Podcast, episode 213. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Wander Wealthy Podcast. If you're brand new here, a warm welcome to you. My name is Tess Wicks. I am the host of this show, the founder of Wander Wealthy, and I'm also a business coach for money coaches. I also happen to be a former money coach. And actually, I still am a money coach, but a majority of my time I spend now helping my fellow money coaches build their strong, scalable money coaching business. I help them bring it to the world. And for those who have already brought their businesses to the world but are frustrated with the results that they are getting or maybe not getting, I also help you too in really finding how to make sure that your business and your offering, what you are offering, is suitable for your ideal clients, or maybe figure out if your ideal clients are suitable for what you want to offer. And we find that perfect point where you can see that building a business doesn't have to be so hard. It certainly isn't easy, but it doesn't have to be so hard that you're just pulling your hair out and wondering, like, is this ever going to work? And if you're in that position, or, this is also helpful, this episode specifically is also going to be helpful for people who have not started their businesses yet, but are thinking about it. But mostly for those of you who might be a little bit frustrated with the results that you may or may not be getting in your coaching business, I really think this episode specifically is going to help you, because we're going to be talking about what to do when you're feeling super stuck in your financial coaching business. What to do when you feel like you're doing all the things and none of the things are working. What to do when you have no idea what you should really be focusing on and you feel a little bit lost, a little bit conflicted, a little bit confused, maybe even a little bit jaded about, all the online coaches, specifically business coaches, or the marketers who are teaching you all about how to do business and how they're showing you how easy it can be and how you just have to build this funnel, or you just have to invest in this program to learn how to do Instagram marketing, or you just have to build out an amazing product suite. And if you've done that and you're feeling like, this isn't working, this was supposed to be easy, it's not easy, what's going on here? I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing now. You're not alone. And I want to help. And I want to help largely because I've been there. I am you. I know what that feels like. I know that, you're probably in a position where you're doing all the things. You're creating every different type of content and you're putting it up on every different type of platform, and you've built the freebie and you've built the low priced course and you've built the high ticket course and you're trying to sell all of that. And on top of that, you have these email funnels where you have to sit down and craft 13 emails to be scheduled to drip out to all these people. And you're like, I've done it all and it's not working, but they said, the people who I paid that said it was supposed to work, it's not. And so maybe there's just something wrong with me. And I can tell you, there's nothing wrong with you. You are certainly cut out to do this entrepreneurship thing. You are cut out to be a coach. We just have to do something that feels very counterintuitive, okay? A lot of the things that I teach, and if you've been listening to this podcast for a minute, you know this, that a lot of the things that I teach from the onset, they feel and they sound very counterintuitive, right? I'm all about niching and getting super specific with your niche, like only talking to a handful of people, right? And that feels like then you're going to be getting no clients. But it's counterintuitive because all of a sudden it works. And the same goes for this approach as well, right? If you are feeling stuck, especially, you're feeling like you're spinning your wheels and you're trying to do all the things, this is what I want you to do. I want you to stop. I know that feels scary because you're like, but if I stop, I'm not going to make any money. And I'm not saying quit, right? I'm not saying quit. Definitely don't do that. But I'm just saying stop and pause. And maybe like, whether this is going to be metaphorically or literally, just like take everything that you're doing and get it out on the table. Whether you have to get a huge whiteboard, don't go buy one. Just like, if you happen to have one, or get a bunch of printer paper and just put it all out on the table and jot down all the things that you have done in your business. Maybe we can, narrow it down to the last year or anything that is currently, if you have a website, like currently up on your website, like what are all the options that you're giving to your clients or your potential clients, basically your audience right now, if they're not paying you? What are all the options that you're giving to them? And what are all the things that you are having to spend your time on in your business? I just want you to get all of it out and put it out on the table. And then I want you to eliminate a majority of it. I was going to give you a percentage, but it really depends how, by each individual, how much you've really committed to. But I can tell you, if you feel stuck, like you don't know what you should be doing next, and you feel like you've invested a lot of time and energy in all these different things, and maybe even money too, in all these different things, and none of it is working, just push pause. And I invite you to do the counterintuitive thing, which is the slowing down in order to speed up, the cutting things away, trimming the fat in order for you to figure out what really works. So I used this example in a Wealthy Coach Blueprint call the other day. We were talking about how when you start a business, I think a majority of us, especially in modern times, especially when, there are so many businesses now online, my business included, that is established to help you learn how to start a business, right? And so my interest is to market to you to teach you how you can start a business. But so is Lucy, Instagram Lucy. No, I should make this better. Instagram Ivan. Okay, Instagram Ivan's interest is to teach you how to utilize Instagram for your business. And LinkedIn Lucy, her interest is to teach you how to utilize LinkedIn. And Email Marketing Emma, she wants to teach you about email marketing. And another business coach wants to teach you about, all the business, the entire approach for building a business as well. And Systems Sally, she wants to teach you how about build systems. And so when you enter the business space, there's all this noise and all these people, telling you all the different things you should be doing. So you start to do all of them because you really feel like you should. So you start to invest in all of these different solutions, or maybe you don't invest because, let's be real, we're all money coaches here. So we're probably all a little bit scrappy and we just like Google and YouTube our way to figuring it out. I know I did that a lot. Or maybe you listen to podcasts. I did that as well. But you get to work because you hear about all the things you need to have in your business in order for it to be successful, and in order for it to, be super easy and passive and just like, oh my gosh, you click a button, you put something up online, and all of a sudden you start making a bunch of money. Spoiler alert, that's not how it works. But you get into this position where you take it all on, and then what happens is you start to spin many plates all at one time, right? You set up your website, and now you need to maintain that website. So that's one plate spinning. And then you think, okay, well, I have a website. Now I need to have a social media presence. So I'm going to set up my Instagram account. So you start spinning that second plate. And then, well, if I have Instagram, I should probably also be on Facebook. So I'm going to set that up. And that one can, sometimes Instagram and Facebook, they can easily cross post. But in terms of engaging and getting involved, you have to be in both of those places. So that's definitely two separate plates. And then, but not just Facebook. It also needs to be, I need to have a blog. I need to make sure I'm blogging, or maybe it's a podcast, but I need to have some form of like content that I own that's not on a social media platform. So let me set that up and let me start spinning that plate. And then, in order for people to find my website and my blog, I need to start mastering SEO. So let me, figure out how to do that and let me start spinning that plate. And then, but I also want to be able to, help people find me through Pinterest, because, Pinterest, I've heard you can make a ton of money through Pinterest. And if you're not using Pinterest, you're losing out. So let me start spinning that plate. And by the way, email marketing, let me do that. And now I can set up a freebie and then create an entire funnel for the email marketing. And we didn't even get to the point where you actually have to create a solution that you can sell so that you could start making money. So let's get those plates up and running. And, if you follow the way that I did things from the very beginning, I thought I had to do it all. So I was also doing affiliate marketing and freelance writing and trying to do some sponsorships. And I wanted to do public speaking. How many plates do we have spinning at this point? I don't know, probably 20, 50, 100. But this is where people get stuck. And it's not because some of these things aren't effective. They definitely are, and they're definitely important. And you can definitely have, all these different tools and strategies and tactics. But where I see entrepreneurs, especially money coaches, getting stuck is they don't actually know what's working and what's not. And all that they do know is that they're tired and they're overwhelmed and they feel like they're at the end of their fuse in terms of what they have to offer, what they have to give, and almost like they feel so blinded by where they should really be spending their time. And the reason is because when you have very few plates to spin, you know what plates need attention. You know what plates are spinning on their own. You know what plates, you could put a little bit of more resources behind because they're working and they're bringing in the results that you're looking for, the clients, the money. And if there's a plate that typically works, but it needs some attention, you can give your time and attention to that. But when you have so many things that are meant to be support, kind of aspects of support for your business, when you have so many of these things set up, it pulls you away from what you really ultimately need to be paying attention to. So the other day I did a live and then I kind of talked about it on my story on Instagram, but neither of those things are there anymore because they're just a day-long thing. But I was talking about how entrepreneurs, the ones that are the most successful coaches that I see, and something that I notice when I am at my best, right? And so obviously this is something you can kind of go in and out of, but I notice when I'm at my best, and I notice the coaches who make it the furthest within my program and within their business, when we are at our best is when we're able to so succinctly identify what we need to be spending time on. And that thing, typically what we need to be spending time on, are the money makers in our business. The needle movers is what I like to call them, the revenue generating activities, and kind of dropping everything else, right? But when you have all these plates spinning, right? You have the email marketing and the Facebook and the Pinterest and the blog, and you have so many things going, the website, the SEO, and then the programs and the freebies. It's really hard to identify what is the revenue generating activity. And you think it would be easy because, all you have to do is gather the analytics and figure it out. But it almost is difficult because you don't have enough time, energy, or other resources to pump into all of these. Like, you're spreading yourself so thin that they don't even have enough to really get off the ground, right? If you had a much more focused and succinct kind of approach to what is the end goal, getting clients, making money, and then, serving your clients. But if you're having trouble with that, but you have all these other things spinning and you can't see how it can directly get you to bring in clients, bring in money, and then ultimately you go into delivery mode, then it's probably just too much. especially if you feel stuck, especially if you feel confused, overwhelmed, really unsure of what you should be spending your time on, what you should be investing in, then my best advice is to just let some of these plates fall to the ground and crash. And even though it feels like a step back, right? Because maybe you've invested time in some of this stuff to set it up and get it going, and now you're going to just like put the brakes on. It's going to be so much better for you and your business, okay? From the you perspective, you're going to get so much time and energy back. And that's the thing, is a lot of us think, oh, we only have so much time in the day, but you also only have so much energy, and energy management is almost far and away more important than time management, because I can get a lot done in a small amount of time, but like sometimes those things aren't that important. They don't really require that much energy, or they're things that aren't important and they take up a lot of energy, even though it might be a small amount of time. And then I have very little energy during a lot of time to really commit to getting what I need to get done. Case in point, today I did a terrible job at that, right? I wanted to basically utilize the entire day to batch record podcast episodes. Instead, we're at the tail end of a Wealthy Coach Blueprint cohort. And so I want to make sure I'm giving so much support and, really tying up any loose ends and making sure that these coaches are ready to go out into the world and build and scale their coaching business, start serving clients and seeing those life-changing results. And so I didn't respect the boundaries of my own calendar, and I just poured myself into our Slack channel and really supporting the coaches inside of the Wealthy Coach Blueprint group program. And it took up, it took up more time. And I will say that it is equally as important in terms of priorities and what's moving the needle in my business. That is still a needle mover, because happy clients create new clients through referrals and testimonials and all of that. So it is very, fairly equivalent. But when my intention is to block out the entire day for creation, and I can be, honest here and say that podcast, when it comes to recording the podcast, it can be very energetically draining because I pour so much into creating these episodes for you. I want to make sure that they're good. I want to make sure that they help you and they're impactful, and you can take stuff away from them and really implement them in your business and see how it's going to change and get you results. So it's a big energy suck in a good way. But if I don't manage my energy earlier in the day, if I don't respect that and honor that, then it's so much harder for me to sit down and do big batch recordings of my podcast. So although today I had time set aside, but also, mentally I had set aside this energy. I had earmarked the entire day to energetically pour myself into creating podcasts, because I allowed my energy to get diverted, which again, it's still okay because it's still a money-making activity, but I allowed my energy to get diverted. It definitely has an impact. And so what I initially wanted to get done, which was probably recording, 3 podcast episodes today, I'm probably just going to record this one, which is okay. I have a backup plan, but that's the whole point. That's kind of why I think it's so important to manage your energy first and foremost, because even though I have the time to sit down and record 3 podcasts, energetically, I know I'm not going to bring my best. Okay. So backing up from that, protecting your energy and thinking about how much you have to give to the few but the vital things that you should be doing, versus trying to split up your energy across all the many, spinning plates that we put up at the beginning of this episode, if you can remember back, if that didn't stress you out too much. If you can remember that, think about diverting your energy into all these different things and then having a hard time seeing what's working and what's not. And the reason you have a hard time is not only because there are so many that it's really just hard to actually see the analytics and track the success rates, but it's also hard to even get enough data because, again, you're trying to make all of the things work, which ultimately leads to none of the things work or not having enough data to produce the results of which you then get to analyze and figure out, okay, where is, my energy and my time best spent? When you spread it so thin, it's really hard to tell. So to combat this, to get yourself unstuck, let some of those plates drop. Slow down. Take a breath. Take some time to think about and maybe even research and identify what is going to move the needle in my business, right? I have all these things that I've set up, but I actually don't know what's working. Allow yourself to sit down and figure out, okay, are people even visiting my website? Yes or no? If not, then maybe just you don't have to delete it, but just don't put so much energy and effort into keeping it up to date or posting on it or even finishing it if it's not finished. It's okay. There are plenty of very, very successful business owners with really bad or no website, right? People think they need to have it, and I did too. And then I met a business coach who was like, oh, you have a website? I haven't had a website for years. And I was like, what? Did I miss something here? So again, okay, is the website bringing in traffic? Is it getting you clients? Are people signing up there? If not, just leave it be. No, you don't have to go and explain yourself, especially if you're changing things or if you're going from being a health coach to now a money coach. You don't have to make that update. Just figure out where people are hanging out, your ideal clients are hanging out, where you're gaining traction from your ideal clients, especially if you have all these things already set up. Then identify, are they on Facebook or are they on Instagram? Yes, they could be on both, but where are a majority of them hanging out? And then focus there. Or if you know that they're visiting your blog and you're getting a lot of traction there, then go to the blog and forget everything else. And then based on the blog, you can determine, okay, how do I get people to the blog, or how are they getting to the blog? Are they using search? Then maybe it's a good idea to keep going with the SEO. Or are they coming from Pinterest? Because remember, you had that set up too. If they're coming from Pinterest, then pour your time and effort into that versus SEO, right? Or if they really are coming from a social media platform, what's cool about a lot of the social media platforms is you can just turn your social media presence into a micro blog. You don't necessarily need more than 1,500 characters. Is that how many characters it is? Maybe it's 1,500 words. Honestly, I can't remember. But you don't necessarily need more than that to get your point across and to allow people to see that you are an authority in the space, that you can relate and empathize with their situation, and that you have a solution for what it is that they're looking to, solve. A solution for what they're looking to solve, a solution to their problem, a solution to their pain point, a solution to their goals that they're having trouble achieving on their own. You can do that in many, many, many different formats on social media. But again, if you're going to go there, if that's where people are hanging out, if they're not hanging out on Pinterest and then landing on your blog, if they're not hanging out on Google and then landing on your blog, then they're probably hanging out on social media, and maybe we just bring all of the content there because on one platform you have it all. If you're not getting people to sign up for your freebie or your email list, then don't worry about it, right? Figure out and focus on what's working and allow yourself to go all in on that. And then as you figure that out, as you start to get the traction, as you start to see the results and see people come in the door, get the clients, and then you're ready to expand beyond that, you're ready to add things, you can pick up some of those plates and start spinning them again. But it's so much harder to figure out what's working and refine something when you have all the plates still spinning. And I know it feels counterintuitive because you basically have to like close some doors to allow more traffic to come in, but the traffic just comes into a more concentrated space. And that is so much better for you. It's so much easier for your business, and you will see more results that way. Stop spreading yourself so thin, slow down to speed up, and let some of those plates drop. So that's what I wanted to share today. I hope it resonates. I hope it helps you, especially if you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, not knowing what to do next. And if you need more guidance, if you're ready to, kind of pull things down to the studs and build your business in a way that feels a lot more effective, a lot more high leveraged, a business that focuses on the vital few things you should be doing instead of the trivial many, then I invite you to check out my program, which is a 12-week business building program for money coaches, new money coaches, or established but feeling frustrated with their results. It is the Wealthy Coach Blueprint, and we are going to be opening group enrollment in June, actually mid-May through mid-June, and kicking things off near mid-June. So we've moved, here's a life update. We've moved our wedding to next June now, so we can do a summer Wealthy Coach Blueprint period. And I am so excited that it's going to be happening. And people who get to enroll first are those who are on the wait list. So if you want to jump on the wait list, head to wanderwealthy.com/apply to jump on the wait list for the next round of the Wealthy Coach Blueprint group cohort. Like I said, it's 12 weeks and you're really going to get the step-by-step. It's actually broken up in phases, the phase-by-phase blueprint. It happens sequentially, and it helps you build the strongest foundation you could have for a coaching business. It helps you make sure that you're not spinning your wheels or spinning your plates, it's not spinning too many plates for sure, and you have a really focused, high leverage business model to follow so that you can do what you really have wanted to do all along, which is impact the lives of others. So wanderwealthy.com/apply to jump on the waitlist. If you have questions about the blueprint, you can send me a message. I'm at Tess_Wicks on DM, or send me an email, tess@wanderwealthy.com. There may be an opportunity for early enrollment, and I may have some bonuses for you if you do. So reach out to me if you're interested in anything like that. And until next time, I hope you wander wealthy.